Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm Celia Bertoia. We are going to talk about creating and handling Sonambient sound sculptures today. We've got a small tonal here, and I could mention that if you've got a tonal like this and the rods get bent out of place, it gets knocked over by a pet or a child or whoever, you can fix a minor bend. You can see that this rod is a little bit too close to this one. So I'm simply going to hold the bottom and then pull it slightly away. Now yeah, that's about right. You don't want to bend it too far, but you can do that. If you don't feel confident, don't do it. All right, now I'm going to take this simple paper towel and place it over the middle rods so that they don't scrape and scratch each other when they are being shipped. All right, so I've got them separated with the towel. It's just a homemade towel, nothing fancy. And now I'm going to take this little custom cut rigid foam and place it over those four middle rods so that they really don't move. Okay, you can see that is solid there. They're not going to make noise, and that's what you want. Now we're going to place it in the crate. You can see that this crate is custom made for this particular tonal, and that's what you will need to have. The crate has a framework and plywood, and it's built to fit. So now I'm going to slide this in. You'll see that the base is going to be covered by those two side pieces so it won't move around. So I am putting this in there, making sure the rods don't get messed up. And I've got some padding on the sides there. So these rods are not going to move. Well, they do move a little bit, but it's pretty good. And then once it's in there, simply take cover, and you can see I have marked it to show which way this goes on. Then you would just screw it shut. So that's the packing and crating of a small tonal. Now we're going to talk about how to move tonals. All right. This is just, it's about a foot tall, but we're going to pretend that this is a 10-foot tall tonal. If it was 10 feet tall, just with these with these reed rods, it would probably weigh about 70, 80 pounds. Now, if it had cattail tops, that adds more weight, obviously. And if it had cylinder tops, that adds even more weights, the heavier, thicker tops, because each one of those cylinders weighs about a pound. So you're looking at well over 100 pounds, and it's a slightly odd shape to work with. So you will definitely need at least two people, and you may want a couple of standbys in case something starts slipping or accident looks like it's about to happen. So if this was 10 feet tall, one person grabs it at the top. And for short periods, you can collapse the rods in on themselves like this. You don't want to have that going on for a long time, but if you're just moving it from one spot in your home or in the museum to another spot 20 feet away, no big deal. Then the next move is to gently tip the whole sculpture over, and then you're going to need to get under the base, and this is the second person here, and carry it horizontally. Now you can, of course, carry it on a one of those little dollies, but two people can do this if you're just moving it a few feet away, and then move it. Now, the mistake that some people make is that they think you can just lift up the bottom and kind of scooch it over. But it's deceiving because it's, again, especially if you've got cattail or cylinder tops on there, it's very top heavy and it is prone to tipping over. And we've had this happen numerous times. So this is why we're making this video, to warn you. You have to be very careful to move these puppies. All right, now I'm going to show you a larger tonal, and hopefully I can edit this part out. All right, that's pretty good there. Yeah, okay. So I have packed this Sonambient tonal. This is from the Sonambient barn. And clearly this is a homemade packing job. You can certainly have an expert art shipping company do it for you, and they will charge accordingly. And I'm obviously not an expert packer. This knot is not a great knot. Nevertheless, this would do. So I'm going to unwrap it so you see what we did here. All right, we've got packing all around. This is kind of semi-rigid foam. It's a little bit soft. And ideally, the sides of this packing would meet the inside walls of your custom crate so that you have no sound or movement happening. And you can see this is moving around and there's no sound, and that's ideal. Because if you are shipping it a long ways, if the rods are bumping against each other for that entire trip, they could easily damage each other. If you're making a sharp curve or a sudden stop, they're going to be banging into each other. If you have a cord tied around right on the metal, it can create a mark there. You don't want to do that. So always have some kind of packing in between your cord and your crate. So simply going to undo these. And you can see this is simply a piece of foam, custom cut, so that you can fold it over. And that goes right on top of the tonal. Now this is a cattail. You can see the cattails here. And I've got this cloth that was custom cut for this particular sculpture. and it is separating all the rods. Again, you can get a professional fine art shipping company that will do something similar, but honestly, some of the packing jobs that I have seen them do are not functional. So now I'm going to take this cloth off, and I thought I might have to prevent the cloth from slipping down, so I had these longer straps so I could tie it above so it wouldn't slip down, but apparently I cut the holes just snug enough so that they don't slip down, which is good. So now I'm going to remove this cloth, and you can see simply a cloth measured to this particular tonal with holes poked in there for each rod. So that is that one. Now I'm going to show you a couple other options for packing. All right, over here we've got a really super duper packing job. They have put rigid foam between all the rods. They put a lot of plastic and bubble wrap on the top, and that is a solid packing job. They get an A+. Now this middle one, you can see the rigid foam between the rods. That is also very good. They should have something more on the top of the cattails, but those rods are far enough apart that probably the cattails will not be bumping into each other. And this one over here, that's quite good too. They've just taken some bubble wrap and plastic and separated the rods and taped it all up in the middle. And then they've got some bubble wrap on the top. That's pretty good. But I will say that this first one is just excellent. So the whole idea is to keep the rods from banging around as they're moving. So I hope that gives you some idea of how to pack and crate and move your tonals. Going to say goodbye. You can go to harrybertoia.org and get a lot more information. Thank you. Thank you.